Good morning, everybody. My name's Bree, and I'm a little nervous because this is my first YouTube video for you guys. I was going over in my head millions of times what I was even going to talk about, if I had anything that was different or special that I would bring to the table, and I guess I just simmered it down to my perspective. And I've had a lot of different questions from people, and I just decided that 2016 was going to be my year of having a voice and just kind of bringing my own flair and letting people see more of my own personality, because I know that pictures, it just doesn't really do it justice, and I have a lot to say like that. So what I came to is that my first post was going to be about staying motivated. I've had a couple people ask me recently just how I stay motivated, how I got started, and being able to stay on a strict diet and being able to train all the time. So with that said, training, motivation, dieting, all of it. I don't always have the motivation to keep doing what I'm doing. Sometimes I do go through bouts of, man, this just isn't for me anymore. I don't even want to touch my feet into a gym. Everybody has those days, but it just comes down to like finding your purpose. Like, what is your meaning? If you find your why, then you have everything you need. So for me, I moved to Arizona 2.5 years ago now, all by myself. I had never been here before. I had no idea what I was getting into. I took a job after college, moved out here, and the first 1.5 years was so challenging. I felt like I couldn't relate to very many people. I don't go out drinking, I don't go to the clubs, and I felt like I wasn't making friends, and I was just stuck in this rut of like being down, having a negative outlook, feeling like I wanted to move home. I wasn't happy. I wasn't making the moves myself to find what was gonna make me feel like I belonged here. So with that said, I started training more, and in college I was like super small, like 110 pounds, no muscle, ran a lot, wanted to be as thin as I possibly could. And so whenever I got out here, I started dating someone who was really into lifting, very athletic, and kind of started teaching me that, you know, muscle is a good thing, and motivating me to chase my own dreams and build the body that I wanted, and showing me that a muscular body is sexy and beautiful, and I shouldn't be scared to have curves, and I should feel empowered to do that. So I started training and then started going through a breakup, and honestly, that's what kickstarted this whole thing. I was so crushed and so sad that I needed something to completely throw myself into and just consume my time. So I sought out a personal trainer. She ended up being a pro and convinced me to start training for a competition. And honestly, it's kind of history from there. I started my diet, started training, and incorporated lifting, and did my first show in January and was really, really small. I was like, no way, I'm gonna show you what I'm worth kind of thing, and went straight into a back-to-back prep for my second show. And that's kind of how I kept my motivation there. So that was already 6 months in and had started seeing big changes. But so I did well at my second show, and then I kind of realized that I wasn't going the direction that I wanted. And honestly, it comes down to that. Like, your why can change, your motivation can change, your training, your passion, like everything is gonna go through like ups and downs, your valleys, like everything is gonna change. Whenever it's fitness, like there are so many different things that tie into it. Your life outside of the gym, your diet, water intake, sleep, like everything ties into this perfect little knot of chaos. And my third prep was crazy. So I had gotten back together with this guy, and we were back and forth constantly through the entire prep, and we ended up splitting up again. And during prep, your emotions are already gonna be a little haywire. You're cutting carbs, you're adding carbs, you're cutting water, you're adding water, you're losing sleep, your body, like you're looking at your body and you're judging yourself, and one day you're saying you're beautiful, the next day you're like, oh my gosh, I'm bloated, I hate this. Like, you just go through so many different changes, and adding the stress of a breakup to it was like just absolute madness. So I got through it, and I think honestly that pushed me even further. It's all about learning like mental toughness and being able to accept that some things are out of your control, and sometimes the reward is just finishing. Like, it's just getting to the finish line, saying like, I finished this, I didn't give up, I completed this challenge, and like I got like, okay, I brought the best I could with what I was working with and what I was going through in my own life. And there's no excuses. Like, if you have something that's important to you, something you're passionate about, something that you love, something you want, like really, really want, you're gonna make it happen. You're gonna do it. You're gonna have no excuses. Like, there are days that I got up at 6 a.m. There were days that I got up before the sun was up. There are days that I was going to the gym really late at night. I was running sprints at 11:30 p.m. the week of my show because I felt like I was holding water, and I just wasn't gonna stand fire off. Like, you're just gonna find whatever it is that keeps you going. And everybody is different. So for me, sometimes it's just, I'm super competitive, and I didn't want to lose. I didn't want to be the person up there that looked like a joke. I didn't want to get up there and not be competitive. Other times for me, it's like, man, I need to get out of my own head. I need to go to the gym. I need to lift heavy. I need to put on my heavy music, and I just need to rock out. Like, I just need to lift things and put them down and get my anger or frustration out. Sometimes it's, you know, man, I really want to become the best version of myself. And that's the underlying one all the time. When it comes down to it, I want to be healthy. I want to be strong. I want to feel sexy in my own skin. I want to feel good. I want to be confident. I want to walk around saying like, yeah, I'm amazing, and I'm putting my own work in. I'm dedicated. I have the time. Like, investing in yourself is the best form of self-love that you can ever give yourself. And sometimes I think that that's the only why we need, but there are always other ones. Like, if you want to eat that cupcake and not feel bad about it, that's a great reason. If you want to drop 10 pounds, that's another amazing reason. If you want to do a competition, great reason. If you want to run a marathon, a triathlon, if you want to, you know, start putting on muscle, if you want to matter, whatever it is that keeps you going, it is what it is. And when it comes to diet, I would say that my mindset has changed because I was so strict with myself. I feel like I went haywire, and I would eat everything, and I would binge, and I would feel so guilty afterwards, and it was this horrible cycle. And this off season, so the last 3 months, I've really been working on myself mentally and just kind of trying to figure out what my pinpoint was, what my trigger was, to really get down on myself and have such a hard prep last time. And obviously I know I was going through a lot of other things at that time, but I think that one of the big ones was just that I was telling myself such negative things that obviously your mind and your body are so connected that they start to believe it. So for me now, food is fuel. Food is what's going to help me lift heavier. Food is my like best friend. So when I think about it, it's all in moderation. It should literally be, okay, I can eat ground turkey, greens, and and oats clean, like most of the time. And if I want to have this chocolate or this piece of brownie, or I feel like I really want froyo, or I'm gonna eat an apple, I should be able to do that. I give myself, because it's giving me more power to do what I want to do, to push my body where I want to see it go. And for me, like, I want more muscle. I want to feel strong. I want to lift heavy. I want to, feel like an absolute badass. And when it comes down to it, like, there is nothing better for me than to walk into a room with my head held high and saying like, wow, I feel so good in my own skin. I'm finally making these changes. Like 2 years ago when I was here, I looked totally different. I was down, my head was always down, I never talked to anybody. My smile didn't light up a room, and I just didn't have the full, like, what I would call my Brie-ness. This peppy person, this personality that I have, it just like wasn't there. And now I feel like I just bring it everywhere. Like, I'm throwing this positive, sparkly, like sometimes overwhelming personality around for anybody that wants it. Positivity, and I hope that it makes a difference for you too. I hope that you subscribe to my channel that will be forming, and if you have any suggestions about what you would like me to talk about, or any questions, not even fitness related, it doesn't even matter, but anything at all, I want you guys to let me know, because I want to make this something, a process of all of us getting to know each other, but also where you can actually come to feel comfortable, because I'm not going to be one of these people that sits here and says that I'm perfect all the time. I'm not. Sometimes I eat crazy and I have to really put in the extra work. That's what it comes down to. When we fall, it's how we stand back up and keep going from there, because everybody makes slip-ups. Everybody is human. Like, we all do the same things. And it's just if we're willing to talk about it or not. And I'm definitely open to it. So if you have any questions or suggestions, let me know. And I am so excited for what's to come.